Hello, beautiful, handsome, lovely. How are you faring? I hope you're faring well. I know it's been a minute since my last video. At least a couple of days. My last video like this. There we go. It's been a bit of a minute. How are you? How are you feeling? How has life been treating you? I'd love to know in the comments. But also, if you don't feel like commenting, that's totally fine. I love having you here anyways. Having you here with me while I yap on, yakety schmackety, and talk about random stuff. Hope you're having an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I'm actually posting this at around the time that I used to, so the usual people who usually see my videos, 1 minute and 1 second as I say that, will most likely see this. I already had some of my jewelry on because it's the same jewelry I wear when I'm streaming. 1 minute and 11 seconds as I say that. I just hopped off of a stream. We had a very good time. I played Poppy Playtime, the first game, for the first time and loved it. Had some technical difficulties trying to figure things out in front of everybody, but it worked. We made it happen. We made it work. And then I played some Roblox Doors and Roblox Mines. Got further in the mines than I've gotten before. I was hoping to do it on stream, so I'm glad that I did it. It was a fun time. I had a good time. I hope that you have been doing well. That is my hope. I know I used to do these videos every night. This soulful yapping. I used to do these videos every night. And I don't do them every night anymore because I have other responsibilities to take care of now, as my spiritual team told me. So now that I am on a different time with these, I find it really nice when I can do them, when I'm moved to do them. So, as always, did you have some water today? If you didn't, let's get some in right now. Let's get some in right now. Come on now. Come on now, get that water in. Ah, it's fresh water. It's very nice. So, it's been a minute. As far as like updates on my life, things are going very, very well internally. And I always feel like when things are going well internally, it reflects in my outer life. I feel good, and things outside of me tend to feel good as well. So I did a tarot card reading, an oracle card reading for myself this morning, and I already know what the title of this video is going to be. I was moved to do the video after stream, which usually I'm not. So I was moved to do the video by spirit, and I was like, okay, let's do this. And then I was given the title of the video, and I was like, oh, that's new, that's different. And so I was moved to share let me write the title down really quick. I don't want to forget it. Okay, so I was moved to share with you guys what actually happened in my tarot card reading, because you need to hear this. If you're watching this, you need to hear it. Usually I'm like, I don't know who this is for, but I do know who this is for. This is for you. Even if it's repeating what you've already heard before, allow this video to be the confirmation that you needed to be doing what you need to be doing. So, I don't remember the cards necessarily that I pulled. I remember one was the Broom. It was from my Green Witch Tarot deck, which I love and I use a lot now. So it was the Broom, Sage, and then one other thing, and I can't remember what the other thing was. But the cards don't matter here. What matters is the message. 4 minutes and 24 seconds as I say that. What matters is the message that I'm moved to share with you all. So these cards that I typically pull ask questions. So the first question that you need to be asking yourself is, what areas of your life need to be straightened up, dusted off, and refreshed? So essentially, this is the broom. kind of analogy, where you have been working, you've been doing stuff, you've been manifesting, you've been, trying to focus in on things, you've been trying to lock it in with your inner child, all that good stuff. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for all the work that you're doing. And so you've been doing that, but now it's time to go into your kind of internal closet or your internal trunk, whatever visual comes to mind when you think of where you place the things in your mind and in your spirit that you don't use every day. And it's time for you to go into that trunk, into that Harry Potter trunk, and pull out things and shake the dust off. It's time for you to clear out some clutter, reorganize, and change the feng shui of your spiritual person. So essentially what that meant for me is, it said what areas of your life. So I broke it down, and one thing is socializing with people. If I am not careful, I will not socialize with people outside of my immediate family for weeks at a time. Because the location of where we live is significantly further than is good as far as using up gas in a car. We live quite a ways away from where people I would hang out with typically live. So that's one of the reasons I don't typically hang out as much as I want to, and I don't socialize with people outside of my immediate family. And when I say my immediate family, I currently live with my parents and my youngest sister. And so I am interacting with them pretty daily. And it's good to interact with your family. Yeah, it's good to interact with the people in your home, but it's also really good to get out and to socialize. And so that's not for you, that's for me. So I realized socializing is something that I need to pull out of my trunk and dust off. I gotta get out there, have conversations. Something else that I need to do is to dust off or open up the doors of my spiritual palace. It has been a hot minute since I have meditated, sat down and meditated for 10 minutes uninterrupted. The way I like to meditate is I will sit down and I will deep breathe and focus on my breathing for 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll focus on a mantra, or I'll focus on words of affirmation, or I'll focus on a lesson that I need to learn, something that my spirit, something that the divine placed upon my own spirit. But recently I have not just sat in silence for 10 minutes, and it's something for me, 7 minutes and 23 seconds as I say that, it's something for me that just is amazing. I fucking love it. I love just chilling out in the silence and enjoying it. But if I don't purpose in my head to do it, I don't do it automatically because it's not like a routine in my day. And then the last thing was, and this actually connects with you watching this, I need to dust off the creative outlets, my creative outlets. So I stream video games and I play video games, yeah? But in that, there's no creativity really that goes into playing video games unless I'm playing a video game where in the game I am creating. So a game like Minecraft, for those of you that don't know, it's considered a sandbox. It is a sandbox game. And the thing with those games is you're building things, you're creating things. So if you're playing a game like that, okay, that's creative. But when I felt the nudge, 8 minutes and 23 seconds, and 23 is my lucky number. When I felt the creative nudge to do more creative stuff, when I read that this morning, I immediately thought of writing poems, writing short stories, and writing songs or composing songs. So I sing. I like to sing all the time, in the shower, when I'm outside on my walks, I sing along with music and stuff, but it's been a minute since I've tried to write a song. And a big part of the reason it's important for you to dust off your creative outlet is because it's not necessarily about that stuff going public, and it's not necessarily about making money. This is where the title of the video comes in. At 9 minutes, we're ending this. It's the completion of this chapter. Something that used to happen to me growing up, and that happens to a lot of people, is that when they find something that they really like, they find a creative outlet that they really enjoy, a lot of people in your life want to support you, and so what they see is value. They see the ability for you to do something with that and for you to make money off of it. And a lot of your friends and family don't realize that by consistently telling you that you could be making money off of things, they're actually putting more undue pressure on you to perform. So for example, me, I've started streaming video games. I stream live on Twitch under the name Tato the Penguin, and I've been enjoying it. But there has been this pressure that started to kind of well up in me to make money. And I started it because I enjoyed it, because I enjoyed having a community, because I enjoyed the idea of meeting new people and collaborating with people. That's why I started, not to make money, not necessarily to make a career out of it. My mantra that I have, the I am paid and pampered to play, it's talking about any type of play. Any type of play. That could be leaving the house and going and playing with puppies, or going and hanging out and, going to the skating rink or bowling with friends. Like, it's not just streaming. 10 minutes and 23 seconds as I say that. And 10 is also my lucky number. But I noticed as I was streaming, I started to feel this stress to maintain and to achieve and to try to make money off of it. And immediately it sucked the joy out of doing it. Immediately, I didn't want to do it anymore. Now I'm still going to do it because my spirit is moved to continue to stream twice a week, Wednesday and Friday, at whatever predetermined time I need to do it, until I am told, until spirit is like, all right, you can stop. And that's essentially what I was moved to do when I started these videos, was to keep going until I felt to stop. And it was interesting because there was a clear-cut stopping point. A milestone happened, and then I was moved to no longer do these videos every night. So I know that time is coming. But anyways, back to you. Your creative outlets are there, 11 minutes and 23 seconds as I say this, your creative outlets are there to bring you life. They're to spark the joy inside of you. They're to spark the creativity of your inner child. They're to make you playful. That's the point, not to make money. And everybody's going to be on some hurry up and make money, especially now that the political climate here in the USA is what it is. The job market is what it is. A lot of people are struggling to find jobs. So it can be really easy. It can be really easy to think, well, I have to hurry up and make money, so I'm going to make it off of my creative stuff. Something that my dad told me today, he said, I'm going to give you a tip. I was like, all right, you big bastard, what you got for me? And he said, keep streaming video games because you want to. But in your mind, when you're imagining the abundance, when you're imagining all of that which you ask for on your path, the resources, the finances, the abundance, the time, all of that, the soulmate, all of that, see it separate from your creative endeavor. Allow your creative endeavor to be the thing that brings you joy. Don't try to put shackles on it and chains on it and a weight on it and make it do something that it's not supposed to do. Now, if you're doing your talent and money starts coming and opportunity pops up, that's different. But when you first start doing the creative endeavor, the last thing you want to do is rope attached to it the need to succeed and the need to make money. And I have points about that too. It's been a very busy week for me, and it's only Wednesday, and it's been very busy since the last time I did a video. So that's the first thing. What areas of your life should you straighten up, dust off, and refresh? And I would say straighten up, dust off, and refresh the areas of your life that you haven't touched. If you've been focusing on the soulmate journey, or you've been focusing on abundance, and you've been really focusing on your stuff, what are some things that you can do that have nothing to do with those things? Whether it be socializing, if you socialize all the time, maybe it's that you need to take a couple days by yourself and just chill out. Maybe it's that you need to play a game. Maybe it's that you need to call your kids, or you need to call your brother, or you need to call somebody who you haven't called in a while. Shake off the dust of that relationship and see how they're doing. You already know who you need to call. If you need to call, you already know who that person is, because they were the first person that cropped up into your mind when you thought, who have I not spoken to in a minute? Who I want to speak to? You thought of that person. You already know. The next question that I had was, how can you help to facilitate the communication of wisdom from your surroundings? And this was an amazing question, because something that, vulnerability moment, something that I've struggled with in my life, like a lot, is accepting wisdom from any avenue that it comes from. Because you see, I'm of the mindset that if I respect a person and I like that person, then of course they're going to have wisdom for me. But if I don't like that fucker, if I wish they would trip and fall and stub their toe, if I don't want anything good for a person, I usually don't hear them out. I don't listen. When it comes to any of my exes, ordinarily, I'd be like, nope, they taught me what they needed to teach me, and they gone. There's no reason to drum up anything and to do it. Here's the thing. No, I'm not reaching out to any of my ex, relationships. However, if I see or hear something that crosses my path, that's from an avenue that I don't typically listen to, something that I am being moved to do, 15 minutes and 15 seconds as I'm saying this, by spirit, is to be more open to where the wisdom comes from. So, something that you can do to help facilitate communication of wisdom from your surroundings is to be more curious, y'all. Ask spirit, ask the divine more questions. Become more curious. You know how kids hit the why? 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 Ask why. Ask why. Even if you think you know, ask why. Be curious. And be open to the areas from which wisdom can occur. So, I know some of you don't have great relationships with your siblings, but your sibling may have a point. I know some of you don't have good relationships with classmates or with professors or with mothers, fathers, your coworkers, or your boss, but listen. Become curious. When people speak, hear what they're saying and ask yourself, is there something that they're saying that could apply to me? It's so important because this teaches you humility and it trains you to use these more and to use your spiritual ears more. You definitely want to be in a more listening mode. For the rest of 2025, you watching this, you need to listen more. Even if you're a quiet person, just because you're a quiet person doesn't mean you're fucking listening. There's so many of us who are quiet people, and the whole time we're listening to our own thoughts and nobody else. That may not be you, but you can always stand to ask more questions. You can always stand to be more curious. So that's something else that you want to incorporate. Because wisdom is more precious than gold or diamonds or gems. Wisdom is something that actually teaches you how to fish. It teaches you how to build a home. It teaches you how to raise a family. And I'm using those as examples, but what wisdom does is it really gives you steps on how to live and on how to live in a way that is better for your soul. That's what you want. That's what we all want. Wisdom doesn't just come from monks. It doesn't just come from people older than us. You yourself have access to ancient wisdom through spirit, through the divine. If you're praying, if you're meditating, if you're thinking, if you're curious and you're asking questions, if you're communicating with your soul and having communion with self, all of that can help you connect more with wisdom. Wisdom is open to you. I was on TikTok the other day, and I am on biker TikTok. Not gonna lie to you. I love motorcycles. My whole goal at some point when I am able to get the gear that I need, helmet, jacket, all that good stuff, I'm gonna take a motorcycle safety course. And so I tend to follow a lot of people who ride motorcycles and who own motorcycles on TikTok, 18 minutes and 18 seconds as I say that, because they have a lot of interesting, really great tips and information that they share with the public. So things that you want to check on your bike before you go anywhere. And I am a long-term memory person. My short-term is trash. But the more I take in information, the longer, when I start earlier rather than later, it sticks. So I've been listening to these bikers, and one of the people who I followed was talking about his life, and he was talking about how tough and how difficult it can be to go for the things that you want for yourself, And he had a really great point, but that's not the person who I was originally going to talk about. There was an old man, an old white guy, gray beard, we couldn't look more different. And he was talking about how he originally wanted a certain type of motorcycle, an Indian. He wanted an Indian motorcycle, and those are pretty, and actually the Indian is the type, brand of bike, and the Indian Cruiser was actually the bike that I wanted. I haven't even taken the class yet. I have a Pinterest board. But he was talking about how he had fantasized and he dreamt of this motorcycle. He ate, slept, breathed information about this motorcycle. He goes to a motorcycle meet where you go, he had money, ready to go ahead and buy a motorcycle. And he went after dreaming about this motorcycle for so long, and he sat on it, and he didn't like it. He loved it when he saw it. It was beautiful. But when he sat on it, it wasn't what he felt at all. It wasn't what he imagined it was going to be. And he went home from that motorcycle meet so disappointed because he had a bad back, and he was like, I thought this was going to be the answer. Long story short, he ended up getting an Indian brand motorcycle, but it was a type of motorcycle he had not even considered. He didn't even look in that direction, but it was better for his back. And 20 minutes and 20 seconds as I'm saying this, essentially what all of that equaled to me, when I heard that story, the wisdom that came from it was, you do not know how things are going to feel, the things that you've asked for. I don't know how it's going to feel to have my soulmate. I've had glimpses. I had a week. If you've been with me for a while, I had a couple of weeks where I felt it. I really felt like I was in love. But I don't actually know what it is like to physically be with my soulmate. I don't know what it's going to feel like to always have resources, to always have what I need when I need it. What I need when I need it, I do know. But as far as like having expendable income, not having to live paycheck to paycheck, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what it's like to have been streaming for months and to know the process super well and to have people that I collaborate with. I don't know what that feels like. But I've dreamt of it. I've fantasized about it. I've done tiny role-playing sessions in my head about it, where I've pretended to be doing stuff. But the thing is the point that he was making was, make sure you sit on the bike that you want. Go, explore, physically get into the car that you're wanting, your dream car. Go to the dealership, ask them if you can take it out for a test drive, have them test drive it with you in the passenger seat. Whatever you can do to get as close to that thing that you can, so that you can feel what it would feel like to have it. Because so many of us, we want things, but we don't know what that's going to feel like. We want it because it sounds good. We want it because it looks good. But then when you actually get it, you're like, ew, wait, no, I don't want this. So like for me, I thought that I wanted to be a musician. Like I wanted to be like a vocalist, and I wanted to sing for a living, and I wanted to perform. I had one summer where I was singing every week, and I had days, a week of practice, and then I would perform, a week of practice, and then I would perform. And when I got done with that, I was like, I hate this. I could never tour as an artist. I couldn't do it. I could not tour. I don't have the stamina. I don't have the patience. I don't have the energy. And I'm so glad that I had like a little opportunity where I could kind of sort of get just a taste of what that would be like, so that I could say, I could make the informed decision of being like, nah, shit's not for me. So for you, when it comes to the wisdom piece, wisdom can come from anywhere. If any of you are on social media and you're on TikTok and you're flipping through things, listen to what people are saying, because sometimes wisdom will come from the weirdest places. It can come from the people you did not expect, people who you do not agree with at all when it comes to the way they live. A person who doesn't believe that you deserve rights. A person who is racist. Even those people can at times be conduit for wisdom. But if you're so, holding on to your dislike or distaste of certain people or certain situations, then when those people crop up with potentially decent information, you might not be hearing it out. Just because a person who doesn't have money tells me you need to make sure that you're good with your money because of XYZ, that's incredibly good advice, regardless of who it's coming from. Like, when single people will give dating advice, and it's like, you're single and you're giving bad advice. Well, if they give good advice... Oh. Is somebody calling me? I'm not answering a call. I'm glad I have this on Do Not Disturb. Don't call me. I'm doing a video. Yeah, so if you've got a person, or you've got a group of people, and you feel really weird about what they do or what their belief system is, I'm not saying go looking for these people and asking them questions. That's not what I'm saying. That's kind of a lot. But what I am saying is be open. Because I have a feeling, if you're watching this, there could be some wisdom that might come from an unexpected place, and it might be a person or a medium through which you don't typically interact with. And it might even be something or from a person who bothers you. But this is how the divine and our own higher selves test us to see how open we actually are. Because it's easy to say, oh, I'm open to abundance. I'm open to my path. I'm open to my journeys. What's difficult is truly being open. Meaning that when information comes through, you take it from wherever it comes. I used to say, oh, I'm so open. I would do all this. But then there were things I didn't want to do. I was like, I'm open, but I don't want to do X, Y, and Z. Now, I'm not talking about your ethics and your morals. You know, if there's anything that you're doing or you're, somebody mentioned something and it really makes you feel like sick to your stomach and it just does not resonate, you all know what those things are. You know what that is. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about information that might make you a little uncomfortable, as in pushing you out of your comfort zone, but you know in your gut that this is information that you need to have in your arsenal of information. So, for me, that is what I'll be doing. Be more curious, ask spirit questions, and be open to the areas from which wisdom can come from. And then lastly, the last question is, do you need to go back to the foundations of something to examine them and perhaps reinforce it? Yes, was the answer for me. Life is simple. Life is very simple. It can be difficult, but it is simple, in my opinion. When it comes to the things that we want out of life, when it comes to fulfillment, when you break a human being down into like its base components, when you break a human being down into their base desires, we all pretty much want the same things. It's not that complicated, but it is difficult because we're dealing with so much outside of us, and then we're dealing with our own minds and our own emotions and how we were raised and all kinds of things like that. But for me, one of the basics that I know to be true in my spirit is that life is simple. I know that it's meant to be lived. Life is not meant for you to sit by and just watch it. And even people who are in situations where they're bedridden, they can live life. They can live life. There are things that they can do. There's information that they can glean. Life is meant to be lived. One other thing that is at the basis of like my not belief system, but something that I used to do very well that I haven't been doing very well recently is minding my own business and getting my water in. So those two things are so crucial for my well-being, and I'll tell you why. Water is good because it helps with the elasticity in your skin. It clears out your organs of all kinds of mess. It keeps your blood flowing well. It keeps your eyes clear. And it keeps the elasticity in your skin. So, water actually does make you look younger if you're drinking water consistently. But also, minding my business. There are so many, I have like a handful of people in my life, friends and family who are very close to me, who I care about what happens with them. I do care. I want things to go well for them. But the key to minding one's business is being so busy, working on self, working on where you're at, connecting with your inner child, that you don't have time to be trying to tell everybody else what to do. 28 minutes and 28 seconds as I say that. Minding your business is so crucial. There's no need for you to be following celebrity lifestyles. Like, even if you're like, well, I want to live the life that they live. Yes, get bits and pieces, but for the most part, you don't want to be sitting in front of your TV watching this person live their life while you're not living yours. You want to mind your business. You want to live your life. And the next thing is for me to slow down, let go, let flow, and really allow others to just be themselves. And also a really big one that I have is letting go of expectations. I've had a lot of expectations of what I've wanted in my life, of what I've wanted to achieve, what I've wanted to have, and then expectations of what other people in my life would do. And I gotta tell you, it's not helping your girl out. Like, there's not a lot that's been helped by my high expectations. And some of you might be like, well, how do you not have expectations? You essentially don't think anyone's going to do anything or not. So, like, I don't expect people to treat me with respect. I expect that when I go places that I'm leaving my house, I'm leaving my location, I'm going out, and I'm going to make the best of whatever situation is out there. That's what I expect. That's what I choose to do in my own space. But what letting go of expectations will do for you is it frees up the people in your life to just be themselves. It allows you to be where you're at and let people be where they're at. I have had many expectations of my parents, of my siblings, and inevitably when they wouldn't meet those expectations because they're human beings and my expectations can be really high, I would be disappointed and I would be upset. And it's like, for what? Why did you have these high-ass expectations? And it's like, well, that's what they should be doing. Who said that? Who said that that's what they should be doing? Well, psychologists, and this is how other people do it, and now you see why minding your business is so important. There's a lot of things that you could be doing. There's a lot of things I could be doing. But life is not linear. There's a lot of this happening. So everybody has stuff that they're not on top of. Even the people who are like, oh, get up 4 a.m, work out and do all this stuff. There's always something that we can be doing. Our inbox is always full. So why, again, this is what minding your business gets you. Why would you spend so much time having expectations of other people? Now, when I say expectations, I am not talking about, like, say you're with a person and you're in a relationship and you've discussed and agreed to do certain things, right? So if you're in a monogamous relationship and you've agreed to only sleep with each other, nobody else, you're not dating anybody else, it's just the two of you, trusting that that person is going to keep their word, trust is just placing your faith in that person. Now, one could say, oh, well, you have the expectation that they will, stick to the agreement that you both have. And I think for me, I don't know about you guys, I think this is something that would be great for you to think about. But for me, trust to me is different than the expectation. Because when somebody says they're going to do something or not going to do something, if I choose to trust that that person is going to do what they're doing, I'm not thinking they're going to do it or do it. Like, they might do it, but they also might not. I mean, what if they get into a car accident and they can't do it? That's not their fault, but now they can't do the thing. So a part of it is kind of learning to detach from like the emotional attachment that we have to our expectations. So it's like, I really, really, really want this thing. That is an emotional attachment to the thing. And the expectation, when we do manifesting and we do spiritual work, the expectation is that that's going to show up for us. And I used to think a long time ago that when you expect it, it's good because you're essentially telling the universe, yes, you're telling spirit, yes, I know this is going to happen. But all expectations have brought me so far is stress. It's been more like, I'm expecting it, when's it gonna happen? And then it doesn't allow me to live the rest of my life because I kind of have an obsessive personality about certain things where I get really like, well, if this isn't done yet, I can't move on, I can't do anything else. So for me, letting go of the expectations, 33 minutes and 33 seconds as I'm saying this, letting go of the expectations of the people around me and letting go of the expectations of how my life is gonna go frees me up to be in the now with me. And that is actually another part. We're going to close this because we don't need this anymore. But that's actually another part of what I've learned over the past week. I came to a realization after a dream that I had. And now I can't remember the details of the dream. But essentially, I realized, that I needed to switch my mental paradigms of certain things that I believe. So the term success, the term abundance, and there was one other thing. I think those were the only 2 definition related things. And I realized that my definition of success has always been milestone-y. So it's always been attached to something that I achieve, whether it be peace, whether it be closeness with family, whether it be money, whether it be a job, whether it be a certain amount of subscribers, followers, streamers, whether it be anything that you can put a measure to. Success was always a milestone. And I realized success can be that, but it doesn't have to be. To do something successfully, to be successful, for me, is to look at it and go, yeah, I did that. I did that shit. Like, I made it happen. So, like, even if I don't win a video game, even if I don't pass the level, I find the run successful if I had a good time. You know, if while I was in it, I was doing it, that to me is success. And I decided I want to change my mental paradigm with what I view success as. So instead of success being all of these things to be achieved at a later date, I decided that what I was going to start doing a couple days ago, and I've really liked it so far, is that success is actually in each moment. Every moment is a success if I was my most authentic self, if I acted in a way that I was proud of, and if I was in that moment, like enjoying myself, then I count it as a successful moment. And if I had a lot of those moments at the end of the day, I count the day as a success. And I started this 2 or 3 days ago, and every night before I go to bed, I now smile to myself because I'm like, yeah, no, we did that. We ate that shit. Like, ate and left no crumbs. I was authentic. I was slow going. I was doing my thing. Fucking love that. I love that. It's the fucking best. And one of the things... so, success. Next thing. Abundance. My definition of abundance, no matter what I've said, has always been that there is financial backing. Abundance has always equaled finances to me. Yes, you can have an abundance in friends. Yes, you can have an abundance in love, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, I wanted that money. That cash money. Those greenbacks. That's what I wanted. But I realized abundance does not always equal money. To be abundant, I believe, is to have successfully lived your day. Even if you sit and do nothing, if you are in the present moment, I believe that the day was lived. And really for me, if I'm living in the present moment, the day has been lived. The moment has been lived. If I'm constantly thinking about the future, if I'm constantly worrying about the future, or I'm constantly dwelling on the past, I don't feel abundant. I feel like I'm missing something. And I don't like that feeling. So, I was like, let's change our mental paradigm of abundance. Because I'm tired of sitting around feeling bad, about not having the things that I want. And again, I've done so many of these videos, and in so many of these videos, I've kind of been like, how do I feel about this? And how do I feel about this? It's been a lot of change. It's been a lot of adjusting as I'm aging. So, I'm looking at abundance in terms of being in the present moment and what I have in this moment. And I have a lot. I have a lot to be grateful for in the moments that I'm in. So the definition of success and the definition of abundance, and then the other thing was, I want to extend my now moments. I don't want to be so concerned about where I'm going to be tomorrow. I don't want to be so concerned. So what I've started doing, and I know it's a little macabre, it's a little morbid, is that I tell myself, is this going to matter if I died in 10 minutes? Again, I know that sounds morbid. You have to do what works for you. But for me, what shakes me out of my worry and stress is looking at the situation in a realistic sense. Like, realistically, if you were going to pass away in your sleep, or if you were just gonna, just disappear from existence, how much would you be stressing? over things. Some people might still stress. 39 minutes and 39 seconds as I say that. Some people might still stress. They might still be like, I have to do this before I disappear. But for me, as for me and myself, a lot of stuff stopped mattering. I stopped being stressed. Like, it really does work for me. So last night, as an example, I went out, made my dinner, served my plate, and usually what I'll do is I will make dinner for everybody, and then I will serve my plate, I'll set up my laptop in my bed, and I will eat my dinner comfortably. I like lying down when I eat. I like being able to have my shoes off. It's typically why I don't go out and eat a lot, because I want to be comfortable when I'm eating. So eating at restaurants and eating with strangers is not like ideal for me. I didn't realize. Look this up. There's actually people, they get anxious eating in front of other people, and it's not about like, oh, I'm eating so much and I'm gonna get fat. Like, it's not that. It's more, you don't like being perceived when you're trying to eat, because when you're eating, you're in a very vulnerable position. So I didn't know this, but apparently it's a thing. Some people experience anxiety eating in front of people. So for me, I prefer to eat at the house. I like to go out occasionally to eat. I like to go out with friends to eat. It's really fun. But if it's been a long day, girl, my love, I'm here to eat at home and to chill out. So I packed my plate with the food. I was very excited to eat the dinner. It looked amazing. And I was about to watch continue a video I was watching, and then I thought about it, and my dad was in the living room eating by himself because my mom's out of town. And I thought, if I was gonna die in 10 minutes, would I be more upset that I didn't watch this video, or would I be a little more like, I should have spent more time with my dad? And I immediately thought, I should have spent more time with my dad. Full transparency, I was doing videos a long time ago talking about the fact that I was doing energy healing on my dad. And one of my big concerns with doing the energy healing was that it wasn't going to work, and I was going to feel like a failure if it didn't work. Well, if you're watching this and you've seen all of my other videos, the energy healing did not heal his kidneys. His kidney functioning went down again, and so he is going to have to get a new kidney. He's going to be on a transplant list. But the cool thing is that there are people who are willing to donate who are alive and well. And so we'll see if they are a match for that. And the process is going to be lengthy. It's going to be a lot. But the good news is that he has health insurance, and he didn't before. So we're really grateful about that. Like, I currently don't have health insurance because I don't have a job that provides it. And because I don't have like income coming in from anywhere, I cannot afford it. Even the marketplace insurance. I tried to sign up for insurance, but because legally, even though we have been separated for almost 2 years now and I have not spoken to him, the ex that I have and I are still legally wed, meaning that before I can do insurance stuff, they're like, we need a report on what your person's doing. Do they have a job? Because if they have a job, you're a spouse and you should be getting health insurance. Well, that doesn't necessarily work because we live in 2 different states. So, that aside, the energy healing did not have the effect that I was hoping it would have. But if you remember, as we were doing it, my dad told me, I don't want you to feel attached to the outcome. I enjoy doing these sessions with you for what it is for now. If I have to get a new kidney, if I have to go on dialysis, if I have to do any of this stuff, it's because there's a reason I have to go through it. There's a lesson that needs to be learned. There's something that I'm supposed to get out of it. And I was upset when he came back from the doctors and he was like, yeah, the functioning went down. I was like, I put my whole heart and soul into that energy healing, and the energy healing does work for me. It does work for other people that I've done it for. But I also believe that there are things that are on our path in order to teach us something, in order for us to overcome or to learn something or to make something happen. So there's a lot of stuff going on in our family because of his kidney situation that would not be happening if he was in full health. And it's kind of private, so I'm not going to like go into it, but it could be argued that this situation needed to happen for other reasons. But why did I start talking about that? I don't know why I started talking about that. Hello? Thoughts, come back to me. Oh, I was talking about going and eating with my dad. So I decided, when I thought, 44 minutes and 44 seconds as I say this, when I thought, what do I want to do more right now? Do I want to finish watching this video, or do I want to eat dinner with my dad and watch a show? I ended up eating dinner with him, and we laughed and we had such a good time, and I really enjoyed myself. And then I was able to, after he went to bed, because he goes to bed pretty early, I was able to go and finish watching my show. And so I've realized there are so many opportunities for me to socialize with people that I love, and I used to just not do it. I'd be like, ugh, I'm trying to finish watching this video, or ugh, I'm trying to finish with this paperwork that I need to do, or oh, I've got this thing, it's really time sensitive. But if I wasn't going to be here in 10 minutes, I wouldn't care about that. I would care about the people in my life. I would care about listening to a song that I love. I would care about going outside and looking at the sky, enjoying the physical experience of being here. And again, I know that's kind of morbid, but that's what I've started doing. And as a result, anytime I'm sitting in a moment and I think that, I'm happy. And also, part of the reason I started doing it is because it was a part of the success thing. It was a part of the being fulfilled. And something that I have not liked is the feeling of going to bed every night feeling like I should have done more based off of what I'm seeing on social media. Like, I'm seeing people who are in their 20s who are making way more than I'm making. I'm seeing people in their 20s who found the love of their life, their soulmate, and they're married and they're having kids. You know, there are people who, I am officially a middle-aged woman, and there are people who are not middle-aged who are doing so well. And it was making me feel some type of way. So I was like, well, what can I do in my space? Well, I can make it to where every day, if I ask myself, if I wasn't going to be here in 10 minutes, or if I wasn't going to be here at the end of the day, what would I do right now? Well, I would go for a walk. Then go for a walk. You know what? There's a movie showing in an hour and I have a couple of dollars on me. Let me go see that movie, because I would want to watch this movie before I go. I would want to go to this museum or see this art, or call this friend, hug this person, kiss this person, let this person know how much they mean to me. And I'm realizing over the past 3 days how many opportunities I let slide by because I just assume everybody's going to be here. Excuse me. There are people who in my family have passed because of something. Like, they went to sleep one night and then didn't wake up. It's happened. I have friends and family members who we were shocked because we had just spoken to them and then they weren't here anymore. And again, it's not a fear tactic. I don't believe in fear-mongering. I think fear-mongering is the worst. But what it is it's a reminder to enjoy things while they're here. You might as well. You might as well. If you enjoy dancing, or you enjoy singing, you enjoy doing art, and if you're like, well, I'm tired. Well, if you knew you were going to pass and you weren't going to have this physical experience anymore, what physically would you do? And the reason I used it, like the day or 10 minutes, is because what I used to do is I used to be like, well, if I knew I only had 48 hours to live, what would I do? And it's always crazy shit. I would go skydiving. I would go ride a motorcycle. I would take a motorcycle class right now. Well, I don't actually have access to do all of those things right now. So doing it in each moment ensures that in the moment, I do the best thing that I can do with the time that I have in that moment. It's less about doing something big and more about enjoying the little moment that I have. So today, I planned on being in the room and doing a lot of job hunting, you know, putting my nose to the grind, because like I said in another video, I am looking for like customer service type jobs, anything that can bring in a little money for my household while I am doing my streaming stuff and while I'm enjoying my other creative endeavors. So I was going to put my nose to the grind, and then I walked out into the living room to get some water before I came back, and my dad and my sister were out there talking. That doesn't happen all the time. My sister has class. She's not always home. My dad has work. He's not always home. But he happens to be off, you know, for a little bit, for a couple of days, so that I can talk to him. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put that off. I'm going to pause that. And I'm really going to socialize and enjoy being around the people that I love. And so it was really great because last night we actually watched Lord of the Rings. We watched Fellowship of the Ring. And it's one of my favorite trilogies, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's so good. I cried. I bawled. It's so good. And I was able to watch that with my dad and my sister, and it's been a minute since I've sat down and watched a movie with them, and I enjoyed every second of it. And when I thought about it, what else could I be doing right now? I don't want to do anything else. I want to sit here with the people that I love, looking at them, memorizing the lines in their faces, where they're at right now. Not because anything's going to happen, but because why not? Why not take the time? So I've been doing that. So when I wake up in the morning, I think to myself, if I wasn't going to be here in 10 minutes, what would I want to do? And it's weird because I would think that it would mean I would hop out of bed super quick and run and do stuff, but actually it has the opposite effect. I go, you know what? I'm really comfortable in bed right now. Let me just lie here for 10 minutes. So what if I'm late to a meeting? So what if I'm late to a phone call? So what? I know a lot of people are like, well, what about other people's times? Mind their business. You know how many people have been late in my life? A lot. You know how many people canceled on me and I was waiting for an hour? A lot. I'm not saying cancel on people, but I'm saying oftentimes we care so much about affecting other people and not wanting to inconvenience other people that we don't give ourselves the time we should to enjoy living, to enjoy this physical experience, to enjoy being here, breathing the air, seeing the sunlight. It's really easy to talk about how shitty your state is, or your home situation is, or the country, or the weather. It's so easy to talk about what we don't like. What's not easy is being in the moment, experiencing it, and seeing its beauty, and being about it, you know? So those are the things that I learned over the past couple of weeks. Something else that I've also learned is that I am happier when I'm moving slower and when I'm talking slower. In the videos that I do and in the streaming and stuff that I do, my voice tends to pick up because I kind of go into mode. But when I'm chill and I'm relaxed, I'm super happy. I ask more questions. I listen more. So I like that. I see the light is off, so my sister is in the bed, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to sneakily bring my dinner back. Or I might eat in the living room. I think I'll eat in the living room, actually, because the couch is pretty comfortable. I was just trying to think about how I want to set up my laptop, because I usually like leaning on my side and then eating like this, so I'm trying to think about where I'm gonna put the laptop. But anywho, yeah, so that's what I have for you guys. I was moved to do this video, so I hope that you gleaned and gained something from it. Those of you who also follow me doing the other stuff that I do, thank you. I appreciate seeing you there. I've already made friends. I've made 2 friends on here who, when they can, they watch my content and they support me, and I am so in love with this whole process. So yeah, if I was to pass away in 10 minutes, I'm happy that I did this video. I'm happy that I was able to put this out there. I feel good about the information that I shared. I feel good about the fact that my sister is sleeping soundly, I believe. I just feel good. I feel amazing. And I'm about to get back out here. And I'm not moved to look for a job. I don't think I'm going to get anything. But my mother tends to stress out, like, a lot. And even when there are resources to take care of things, she becomes very worried and very scared about, kind of the state of things, which is fair. So I agreed to do this search and to kind of let her know what I'm doing so that she doesn't feel as stressed about the situation. If she knows that I'm looking for stuff, then she's less stressed. Now, if I come into finances before that, if opportunities crop up before that, I'm going to take those, and then I'll deal with that as it comes. But, yeah. And I mean, honestly, if I did get something, I wouldn't be too bad about it, because then I could have, then I would have, what do you call it? like a source of income that I'd be like, oh, well, I did this and I got this paycheck and I can put it towards going to Boston for this gaming convention that I want to go to. But anyways, yeah, it's a lot of great stuff happening. A lot of great stuff. And so whatever it is that you're doing, wherever you are in your life right now, trust that things are happening for a reason. Trust the process. And keep your ears to the ground for the wisdom of the situations that you're in. It could be the reason you're not getting certain things is because there's something that you need to learn. And it's not you need to learn it so you can have the thing. It's that you need to learn it so you can have a life that you're happy with. Because your fulfillment overall is infinitely more important than material items. Your overall mental health and spiritual health is so much more important than finding a person to spend the rest of your life with. I know a lot of people might disagree with me, but the thing is when you take care of yourself spiritually and emotionally and mentally and physically, you can experience life in a more pure way. Everything hits better. Everything hits harder. And I think there are a lot of people that forego those things to get the things that they want. So it's like, well, I really want this thing, so fuck my mental health, fuck my spiritual health, fuck my emotional health. I don't care about all that. But then you pay for it in the long run. So I would say now is a really good time to do that. Now it's interesting because at the time I'm recording this, the eclipse is actually the day that this will be posted. Or no, not the eclipse, the equinox. So the equinox, we are officially at the period of time, if you live in certain places on the planet, where the days will become longer than the nights. But I think tomorrow the day hours will be equal to the night hours. I think that's why it's called the equinox. So now's a good time to be grateful for what you have. List out the things you're happy about. If you can get out into nature, get out into nature. You know, hit one of those like, I see you sunlight, you know. Thank the sun for shining. Thank the moon for being there. Thank the flowers and the trees and the birds and the ducks and whatever nature you see. Look at it and go, you know what? You all right. You all right, fam. Meditate if you can. Meditate on positive thoughts and on positive things. It's a really good time for that. The feel-good vibes are going to be amplified. So I think that's all I have for you. I love you guys so much. I love all of the people that I have in my life. I love the subscribers that I have, the followers that I have. We made it to 1K followers, and I never did do a live. I never did a live because I was thinking of doing one on YouTube, but the majority of my videos don't have a lot of likes on them. They have views, but they don't have a lot of likes and comments. So I'm feeling that I have a lot of lurkers. I have a lot of people who watch my content and they take it in, but they don't have any interest in engaging with it. I have a lot of views on stuff, but I don't have a lot of engagement. And the purpose of a live for me would be to engage with you guys. So again, if you want to engage with me, you want to ask me questions about spirituality or ask me about what I'm doing, or you just want to talk and shoot the shit and come and hang out, create an account on Twitch, because that's where I am live twice a week. And I stream for about 3 hours and 45 minutes nowadays. And while I'm on there, if anybody has questions or anybody has anything to say, I'll respond to it. So even if I'm playing a video game and you're like, hey, so you said this thing in your last video about such and such, your spiritual video, talk to me about that. I'll talk to you about it. It's not just a gaming platform. I'll be on there chatting and yapping it up. So come on over there. It's twitch.tv. The link will be in the description of this video. I think it's really easy to create an account, and then you just follow me. And then when I go live, I usually post it on my Instagram, and I'll be on there. You'll get a notification if you're following me, and then you can hop on in there and we can talk. We can meet. I can say hi to you and see what you're doing. And who knows, you might actually like the content that you see on there, and you might be like, you know what, I'll play this in the background when I'm doing other shit. So it's really up to you guys. Again, you never have to like, comment, or subscribe on any of my videos or any of my content or any of my channels. I only say to do so if you're interested in keeping up, if you want to stay engaged, if you want to be a part. I would find it funny if shit happened and I blew up and then a bunch of you that watch my videos are like, oh hey, like I've been here from the jump. It's like, have you? No, I'm kidding. I would not care. I'd be like, oh, my person, I know you've been subscribed to me because I can literally go to your YouTube channel and see when you subscribe to my channel. But anyways, none of that actually matters. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you're at. I hope you have an amazing next 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours. Until another video like this comes along, or until you see me again, I hope just blessings fall on you. I hope blessings shake their very ass in your face. I hope you get all these good vibes. That's what I want for you. Well, I love you all so much, and I will holler at you guys next time. Bye!